Hello, and welcome to another edition of Playhouse Live. I'm here, as always, as most times, with John.
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on?
I was going to say as always, but then that 1 week I wasn't here, so it doesn't really count. But yeah, as usual with John. John, how's things with you today? How's the weather over there in sunny Texas?
It's actually... Wait, hold on. Wait, let's do this. Not very sunny.
Okay.
And in Celsius, it's about 4, I think is what I figured out.
Okay, that is not warm.
No. It is actually cold here in Texas right now. And I put that in quotations because cold is subjective. But yeah, it's fairly chilly here. It's got a nice wind, not very sunny out, and chilly. Like, we would need a hot water bottle press thingy that you were talking. I don't remember what it was. I remember a thing about a hot bottle, and it was like a cozy thing, and I kind of want to buy one just to see what it's like.
The fuzzy bladder, as it is henceforth known. That could maybe be an emo when we hit affiliate. I don't know how I feel about that.
That's a good idea.
But fuzzy bladder is the best one so far. No, I'm freezing my bones off. And again, if you say on the internet that you're cold, you'll get a million responses like, hey, it's cold where I am. It's even colder. You don't know what cold is like.
It's cold here too. Like,
yeah.
Okay, I understand.
I'm cold always. Like I have
are you?
a bad resistance to cold normally.
Mm-hmm.
And so people just say like put on more. Like I have a blanket here. I might just like for the purposes of the show, I'll not. But like I could just be in the blanket the whole time. Maybe a cozy stream I'll do one night with hot chocolate and such.
All right, I've got a fan on. It might be cold. I still have a fan right here next to me.
All right. That's a flex. Hard flex.
There we go.
Yeah. I'll see how it goes. Depending on how cold it gets, might put the blanket on. You'll see over the course of this show. But yes, of course, this is Playhouse Live, a show where we try not to wear blankets and we try to discuss the news of the gaming week that has passed. Today, a bit of a slower news week, but still some interesting bits here and there. We're starting off today with some controversy, as we like to do here. The overlay just vanished on me. Where did that go? Okay, let me fix that real quick.
I'll vamp for you. All right,
you can vamp. It's fine. We're good.
Oh, we're good now? Okay, cool. I was like, I don't know what to say real fast. I got to do this.
Yeah. I was just like, I watched it disappear and I was like, yeah, that's on brand.
This is going well.
So yeah, NBA 2K21, the yearly entry into the NBA series, tried to insert some unskippable ads into certain segments of their games. So this is originally by Luke Laurie at Stiviver, is I believe how you pronounce it.
Close enough, I think.
Yeah, so I'll read the quote. Acting on a tip from a reader, we've cited and recorded ads for the Oculus Quest 2 that now appear inside the PS4 and Xbox One and the Windows PC version of the game. They're unskippable, attached to a pre-game video called My Team Season 2 Episode 7 that auto-started in a loading screen that takes longer than the ad runs, even on a PC running from an SSD. This story might be familiar to you. EA tried to do a similar thing with UFC recently. Yep. I believe it was this year's entry that tried that. Basically what happens is, I believe My Team is this like sort of career mode where you go through these different story episodes and like they try to like make it feel like a real sports thing by adding in this like 2K TV as like a sports channel. And the idea is, well, like real sports channels have adverts, especially for American sports. There are lots of adverts.
Yes.
So let's try to see if we can sneak it into a $60 game here. This is disappointing, but not surprising by any stretch. Especially the way 2K have been going. It's an ad for Oculus Quest, by the way, which actually shows up later in our rundown for today. So we'll get to that. But yeah, the ad, for no reason, just doesn't let you skip it until, or the loading screen rather doesn't let you skip it until the ad has already played, despite the fact the game is actually loaded or not under the hood. So, like, obviously scummy. Yep. John, I should say before we get into the rigmarole, 2K released a statement basically saying that this was a mistake. It shouldn't have happened this way. Where we plan to get rid of it in future updates in the game. John, do you believe that?
Not a chance. I mean, you look at the video you're playing right now. I see a border. I see a very well placed video right there. I see everything around looking like a TV. There's no way in hell this was we didn't mean to actually do this. We're sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No. I mean, we knew about like you said, UFC did this. Didn't 2K do this last year as well? There was a basketball game, and I don't remember. It had to have been 2K. They're the only basketball game.
So
they did this last year as well.
They already, like, ads are baked into this game already. Yeah, as you mentioned. Yeah. This is like a new layer of controversy because this ad is unskippable, right?
Okay, so the first one was skippable.
As far as I know, and I don't play the 2K games, I haven't since 2K when I got that for free and I enjoyed it. As far as I know, like, when you're like playing just a basketball game and there's a replay, there will be ads in there like, hey, try Sprite or whatever. This is the Sprite moment of the game.
I mean, that's probably a lower third or just a quick splash screen and you keep on going with live.
Yeah, and you can skip
I'm cool
it.
With.
The important part is you can press X, skip that replay, you're done. This is unskippable.
I'm sorry. That's a load of shit. I'll just say it right now. There's no way they weren't like, our bad. We didn't mean to put it in there. And I'm wondering are they saying that they mean it to make it unskippable? Because I bet you that's what they're going to do. Is like allow you to skip the game or skip the ad. But no,
that's a good point.
Any way to put the game or put ads in there is what they're going to do.
I was thinking purely in terms of like 2K PR there, where I thought, yeah, they'll just get rid of this entirely. But like, obviously, those ad deals are in place. Obviously, they're not going to say to Facebook and Oculus, hey, we just can't advertise your thing anymore. No, there's a contract that's already been signed. So yeah, it's probably just the skipping part of it that needs changed.
And if you really want it to be like more closer to the game, instead of watching an ad while your game loads, again, do lower thirds, have something in like on whatever Jumbotron they have in the arena. That's fine. I mean, especially if you're kind of going through, there's always the games where you pan out, you see the crowd, you're going to see the scoreboard, you're going to see the giant screen. Put an ad on there real fast, but you're not really paying attention to it because it's a pan shot. And you're like, oh, there's an ad for, like I said, Sprite. And then we keep on going and playing the game. We've already paid $60. I mean, I'm already not a fan of EA or the 2K stuff with what they've done. Because wasn't it EA last year who did like the gachapon kind of thing as well?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I wouldn't dispute
it. Oh, really?
It either.
Okay. It was like an ultimate team thing, and I don't remember who actually did it, but it was literally gambling in a sense where you'd go in, you pull a lever, and you would actually get to if you actually got a team that you wanted. That might have been soccer. I don't remember.
Probably.
But yeah, it's just kind of weird. Like, why would you put an unskippable ad? Say you didn't mean to, even though it literally looks like you did. Like, you framed it.
It's the audacity of the PC version of the game loaded on an SSD saying, hey, we're just loading the game here, right? Just watch this ad while we load it. Like, we can't go any faster. Just enjoy the Oculus ad. Like, come on. It's the audacity of that part of it that I think is so scummy. Like,
yeah.
And again, it's interesting that sports games and 2K and EA are just able to get away with this because of their audience, right? The hardcore gamers, and I hate that term, but like it's the only way to describe them. The people like us who wouldn't normally play sports games but play a lot of other mainstream games. If this type of stuff showed up in I don't know, Mario Odyssey 2 or whatever, like there would be a hooting and a hollering. But because it's sports. Because it's sports,
I wasn't prepared for hooting and hollering.
There would be, in fact, some hooting and a lot of hollering to boot. But it's because there's like a smaller Venn diagram of people who care about sports and people who care about video games, right? Those people in the middle just kind of have to deal with it, right? Yeah. And it's not like you can boycott the next entry because like those people, the thing they care about, like sports titles and FIFA have been getting flack for this year, where FIFA 21 has not changed from the previous entry. They don't need to do that. The only important thing is the roster updates, where you feel like in modern times they could just like patch one of their FIFA games or NBA games, and that would be fine. But no, if they are charging you for that, you'll pay it. And also, 2K have also been caught flack already because they're charging for the next gen upgrades of NBA 2K21 to PS5 and Xbox Series X. And again, it's the audacity of just like, you'll buy it. You'll buy it. We have you.
Okay, and you're right. You will buy it. And I'll play devil's advocate on this one too. Here's how I'll do this. Nintendo's the same way. If you really kind of think about it, it's Nintendo. I bought Super Mario 3D All-Stars. They're just ports. I literally bought ports of games.
Yeah.
And it's you're just going to buy it. And I agree. I agree with the idea of like, there are people yelling and hollering at the idea of, or as you say it, hooping and hollering at the idea of, that's going to be a thing now, of putting these ads in there because it's still just a game and you want to have that escape. But with putting like an unskippable ad in there like that kind of takes away from that concept of escapism. I mean, in a weird way of like, I actually bought Madden 20 because my favorite football team is actually the Kansas City Chiefs, and Pat Mahomes was the person on the cover. I bought it. I think I've played it like 3 times, but I just wanted it because that's my favorite team. That's my favorite player. I've loved Kansas City since I was a kid, so I bought it for that one. But like, you think about Call of Duty, a yearly thing. If they put ads in there, people are gonna bitch about it. And it's just one of those like, the sports fans are such a very like passionate group, whether they're gamers or not. And so it's one of those things like I'm very shocked. Like, there's people yelling, but I'm surprised this isn't like a bigger. Well, obviously it was a big enough thing for 2K to go, okay, we didn't mean to do that, but I just, there's got to be a line, right? Am I thinking of a perfect world? I guess so, but come on, guys, really?
I honestly think the reason that this was taken seriously by 2K and they tried to deny that it was ever their intention, I think the reason for that is that the majority of the hooting and the hollering came from non-NBA players. So, like, I remember, again, this thing happening with Street Fighter V. I believe they tried to insert some sort of unskippable ads in there, and people were just, like, not having it. So I think the fear for a lot of people is, if NBA are allowed to do this soon, Cyberpunk 2078 is going to be able to do this as well. Like, they're going to try and slip by, like, oh, it's a Cyberpunk world. There's ads everywhere. And
there's
like, for some reason, Pepsi still exists, even though the world's gone to Cyberpunk. But like, I feel like it's mostly the people who don't play these types of games worried that it will affect their genre, right?
Yeah.
And again, I don't think like Celeste 2 is going to have a giant billboard on the next mountain she climbs. But, you know,
I mean, I guess let's ask a question. You and I ask a question. Is there a line? There's an unskippable ad in NBA 2K, or Hideo Kojima. It has freaking Mountain Dew. Was it Mountain Dew? It was Mountain Dew, right?
Yeah.
Mountain Dew all over the place. Or no, it was Monster.
What was this in Death Stranding?
Yeah, this is Death Stranding, dude. Yeah, there is Monster. That's how you refill your energy. You drink a Monster.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. So which one is better? An unskippable ad, or and this is literally what happened. It was Norman Reedus' character, like, he was getting out of the shower, and I've got a can right here, and it actually pans over. We're not sponsored by Bubbly, by the way, and you see him grab the can and drink it. Like, it was blatant product placement.
Yeah. That's a little. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, there was a up in arms, and I borrowed it from a buddy, and it's within the first 30 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, NBA 2K players blame Kojima, as I think the message to take away from this one, right? He started it, so like, you know, it's his fault.
Oh, Alan Wake. Yeah, that's a good point.
Alan Wake had ads in it for like Verizon and Expletive. No.
And Duracell, actually. I'm playing Alan Wake right now, and there's Duracell. Like, literally, it pops out and goes, oh, I need batteries, and they're Duracell batteries. And there's a longer than normal pause when Alan pulls out the battery.
Okay, so this is like a bigger problem than I thought then. Because for the large part, I thought ads have been partitioned away from games. And I knew it was a thing people could do, but I didn't think it was... Like, Alan Wake and Death Stranding, I thought were safe. Interesting.
No, there's product placement all over the place. I mean, we know there's movies. Watch one of the latest Daniel Craig Bond movies. When they open up, like, a laptop, it's a Sony Vaio, because Sony has a stake in with MGM, I think, if I remember correctly. But you see all those weird product placements if you know who the parent company is. And it's the same thing with video games.
My favorite bit of product placement was the House of Cards one, where they just like talked about the Vita. It's just like, hey, is that a PlayStation Vita? That was good stuff. No, I'm perfectly fine with gaming infecting like movies and TV shows. Like, I don't care about that. Throw them all on that, you know? Just keep it out of my games, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm surprised actually now, like, hearing about those stories, that I haven't heard anything from Cyberpunk related to ads. Because, again, that seems like the amount of screens and stuff in that game, like, you could totally throw in.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be the fun part about Cyberpunk, is just going through and seeing where the actual ads are. And did CD Projekt Red go to these companies or vice versa, and then they actually film it or animate it for Cyberpunk? Because we're talking about 30 years from now. So what are advertisements going to look like? They would specifically have to actually make it for a dystopian 2077. I think it would be kind of cool just to look around with all that all that stuff.
There is a chocolate bar here, and I want to know if you have it, called Crunchy.
Let me see your screen real fast. Do you have a Crunchy with you?
No, I don't have a Crunchy with me.
Oh, God! All right, hold on. Let me look it up. Crunchy bar. Okay.
Yeah. So it's spelled Crunch IE, Crunchy.
Oh, Crunch IE. Okay. That makes more sense. I was like, this is Japanese candy, Finn.
The idea I'm going for is that they could put that in Cyberpunk as like a subtle joke for the 6 weeks crunch.
No, we do not have that.
Okay.
I've never seen that before in my life. Oh, it's a Cadbury thing.
Yeah. They might have it in Poland, though. Who knows? But again, they could like sneak that in, and like Jason Schreier would be like, hey, you did it.
Hey, what's that?
So yeah, everyone will stay vigilant. Report if there's any unskippable ad nonsense going on. And yeah, keep an eye on Cyberpunk for crunchy bars. So yeah.
You've heard it here first.
And if you do see any crunchy bars, give us a hoot and a holler. Dude, it could be like Hoot and Holler could be a great social media company we start up. Like, give me a hoot, give me a holler on Hoot and Holler.
Excuse me while I go to Twitter right now and just go ahead and make sure that is not an @Hoot and Holler.
Okay. Yeah. So our next story then. John, I want to know if it's okay with you if I try and soft launch a new segment for this show.
Absolutely. Let's do this.
All right. So this I'm tentatively calling Next Gen Arena. Basically, most of our shows since we started this a few weeks ago have been consisting of a story about PlayStation, a story about Xbox leading up to the next gen launches. And a lot of our back and forth in that regard has been like, who's got the better of the bunch this week, and like what story has like swayed you towards buying Xbox, buying PlayStation. I know you're buying both anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but who's doing the best in the like marketing department. And so I wanted to provide two stories today and let us, as well as the Twitch chat, if they want to involve themselves as well, decide who has won this week of the news cycle. So the first one, this is from the PlayStation side. Travis Scott is now a strategic creative partner at PlayStation. This is a quote from the blog post. Through our mutual passion for gaming and creativity, we plan on collaborating with Travis and his Cactus Jack brand to produce innovative projects that we hope will delight our collective fans. Travis said, I'm really looking forward to be able to showcase everything that Cactus Jack has worked on with Sony and the PlayStation team. Most importantly, I'm excited to see how the PlayStation fans and family will respond, and I look forward to running some games with everybody very soon. John, what is a strategic creative partner, and why did they employ Travis Scott?
Okay, I'm going to show my age a little bit. I had to look up Cactus Jack and what the hell that was.
Right.
I was like, what is this? So, the main reason I think they might have went with Travis Scott is because Fortnite, because he did that like digital concert, right before COVID or right at the very beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah,
so I think that would make the most sense of like. Apparently, it was actually a really good thing. Everyone really, really liked it. It was pretty awesome. And so just kind of riding the Fortnite train and jumping on that with Travis Scott if you were Sony and just keep on going with the weird kind of, hey, kids, I'm cool. We got Travis Scott. It's cool. This PlayStation is cool. Cool.
John, I had the same disappointment when reading it because I read Cactus Jack and PlayStation, and I don't know if you remember the wrestler Cactus Jack, also known as Mick Foley, also known as Mankind, also known as Dude Love. And I was really excited. I was like, why are they teaming up? I don't care. I'm down. But no, I'm like, I listen to a lot of hip hop, but Travis Scott just didn't for me. The only reason I know his name is because, again, the Fortnite stuff, and then the most recent thing has been the Cactus Jack McDonald's burger thing.
Oh,
which I never really read about.
He does have a burger. I forgot about that too. Yeah.
So for it seems like the man's just like putting his brand out there for all industries.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. He's owning it.
I mean, do the hustle. That's fine. I have no problem with that.
John, do you think we could get Travis Scott as a strategic creative partner for Playhouse?
I think we could.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, if you look at it, and here's how I'll pitch it. It's a good faith kind of thing. You always want to get creators and ideas. You want to get them off the ground. We're doing a good thing. I think we're having a great time with all of us here at Playhouse. And just thinking about the idea of, oh, you know what, Travis Scott, he could actually like help and put the weight behind Playhouse and just propel us into the stratosphere of awesomeness.
Yeah.
I think this could work. Travis, call us. Do we have a phone number?
The thing I think makes this make sense in my head, and I have to, because I have no idea what a strategic creative partner is. So like they announced this with releasing a video of Travis Scott like starting up with PlayStation and like the speakers blowing him back into the chair, and it was all cool. It was black and white. Someone did a great edit, by the way, where he presses the PlayStation button and the Bugsnax theme plays, which I really love. But I think the idea behind it is that Travis is going to make like trailers and hype videos for PlayStation. And it's a thing that PlayStation have always been good at.
Okay.
Back to the PS4 days, they would always make this like these hype trailers. Like guys giving these big rousing speeches, like you walk into a tavern and all the PlayStation characters there, like Nathan Drake and Kratos is standing there. And they've always been really good at that, I thought. I feel like this though, just because of the way that his brain works, I think Travis Scott could like make a totally different kind of hype package for like a totally new audience. Like maybe trying to get like I assume he'll try and just pure word of mouth to his rapper friends, like, hey, the PlayStation's where it's at, dude. Like, come on.
Exactly.
So I think it's that sort of hip hop culture. Trying to make hip hop culture and PS5 synonymous, right? And like it was cool to see the black and white filter on the video, and like the PlayStation's black and white. So yeah, I think that's gonna be his main focus. Whether that also means he's gonna like be releasing his own Cactus Jack PlayStation shoes that connect via Bluetooth and play God of War on your heel. I don't know.
The sightings, the wings, or whatever we're calling them. There's Cactus Jack, and you can buy one from PlayStation and pop it on your PlayStation 5.
Yeah, 100%.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just interesting because these type of things happens all the time, collaborations with celebrities, but employing a person as a strategic creative partner just was like, wait, that's strange.
I had to look up strategic partner, what that actually means, like creative strategic partner. And it says, in the case of a creative team, being a strategic partner means strategically influencing the direction of the company as an equal partner with other teams.
So
I think you're pretty much God of War shoes. I think you're pretty much on the nose with like trying to build in the hip hop and PlayStation brand together where they're kind of one. And it kind of works actually. I don't hate that idea really.
Yeah. So the other side of this next gen arena thing, in the other corner, we have Xbox. Microsoft have sent Snoop Dogg an Xbox Series X fridge. Like an actual 6 foot tall, ridiculous fridge. Here it is on screen for anybody who was wanting to know what that looks like. It just looks like an Xbox Series X. Even the logo lights up, and that's cool. But you see he opens it there. And it's an actual working fridge. It's a joke we all made, but now it's real. This was for Snoop Dogg's birthday. I've seen that they've been sending these out to other people as well. I think Justine got one. But you can see Snoop Dogg's is filled with various amenities. I don't know whether he has put these in himself or whether Xbox
him like that?
sent him all this stuff. Yeah, but I just want to quickly go over the list of stuff that you can actually see in the fridge. So there's an Xbox Series X cake, and next to it is an actual Xbox Series X. Two things came to my mind. I hope he doesn't eat the wrong one. And also, will the cold damage that Xbox? Like, is that just a dead Xbox?
I mean,
like that's
maybe cool. It might be just keeping it cool. I don't know. That apparently we still don't know if it actually is a little fire, as people were like saying a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So maybe he was playing Cyberpunk and he was like, oh, it got too hot, and he had to go put it in the fridge for a little bit. I don't know.
To run Halo Infinite, you must put your Xbox in a fridge, preferably a Series X fridge. Yes. Also in there is some variety of meats, some cartons of eggs, bottled water, bottles of Indoggo, which is the official gin of Snoop Dogg, hashtag not an ad.
Thank you.
Orange juice, which I thought was cute, because gin and juice, the Snoop Dogg song.
Juice. I loved that. I thought it was great.
And some gold Xbox chains, which I thought was weird at first until you considered like the sheer amount of chains Snoop Dogg must have. He has to keep some in the fridge.
Yeah, it's the cooling effect. You put it on the back of your neck, you cool down really almost instantly. Feels great. I understand it. Snoop is pretty much leading the pack on that one. Love it.
Do you think this cost more to make than an Xbox Series X? Like, it's just a fridge, but it's like a cool looking fridge.
I mean, as all fridges are. Yeah, I don't know actually.
Yeah,
I never thought about
I just thought it was a baller move, and again, like I only considered at the start them sending this to Snoop Dogg. But like, if they're sending it to other people as well, like, are they just sending them to people without warning? And it's like, well, now I gotta move my fridge, or is it like people who again are in the Venn diagram of high tier influencer? I need a new fridge.
I really, actually, that's something I've always wondered too. Is like, does it just show up? Like, Snoop, were you expecting this fridge, man? It just showed up.
Yeah.
So like, and that's what I want to. I'm sure there's like actual conversation, but I would love it if like you were such good friends or you knew each other very well that you were just like, screw it, I'm just gonna send him this and see what he says or see what she says. I would love. I want it to be that where we're just randomly like picking influencers or entertainment like celebrities and stuff like that and just pulling them out of the hat and be like, all right, so this is going to insert name, and you just ship it off.
Yeah. So yeah. Again, if Snoop Dogg doesn't have room for the fridge, he can always send it to his friend Martha Stewart. So that's always another option. She can have a room with fridges. But yeah,
I hope she does.
Let us know what you think between Snoop Dogg having the Xbox Series X fridge and Travis Scott being an actual strategic creative partner for PlayStation. Who won? Who's got the better of it this week? John, what are your thoughts?
I gotta go with Snoop. I just think it's funny that again, Xbox has turned into the meme culture, and kind of just their social media team has just been on point for me. That I've got to get the point to Snoop Dogg as well. I think that was a genius idea of listening to people going, it looks just like a mini fridge. Well, guess what? We're gonna make it a huge fridge and we're gonna send it to Snoop. Yeah, I think it was perfect. I freaking love that.
Yeah, I think in terms of like just the celebrities themselves, right? Snoop Dogg for me is cooler than Travis Scott. And again, maybe
Agreed.
I'm out of touch. But no, it's the children who are wrong. I think that also, like when I saw it was some episode of Inside Xbox where they made the joke about the fridge as a Zoom background, and I was like, oh, that's funny. They addressed it. That's as far as they go. Actually, making the fridge, I don't think is that hard, and I'm glad they did it because now I know those exist.
I want one, and I'm happy that I like that as Sony and Microsoft, Xbox, that team is really becoming like aware of the meta game that's going on right now, and I think it's fan freaking tastic.
Yeah. If I ever like when I'm 80 years old and start a video game museum as my career trajectory is where I'm hoping to go, I'm definitely going to have an Xbox fridge. That's just something I need to get. But no, yeah, I agree. Xbox won the week. Xbox, Phil Spencer, for this week, you have won the video game arena. So well done. Congrats. Good job. So yeah, we'll see what they have to offer next week. If they can outdo the fridge, if Sony's going to step up and say, nah, we'll clap back. We'll send you a PlayStation router for your Wi-Fi.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. Also, probably cost way less, but who knows? I don't know. I keep throwing it out there. I don't know how much a fridge costs to make. They seem expensive when you buy them, but like, who knows?
Well, it's not a Samsung fridge. That would have been like pushing it even farther if they put a screen inside this Xbox fridge. But I mean, it all looked like a fridge to us, and they did it. So I like it.
If Phil Spencer, blacksmith style shirt off, crafted this with his own hands, I think that would be like a definitive winner. Like he's just like melting the steel. Again,
it's the first Iron Man, but instead of Robert Downey Jr., it's freaking Papa Phil doing it and making a fridge.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen Phil Spencer with his shirt off.
Where are we going?
But I have a very clear image in my head where it's like just pure muscles and chest hair and like just like it's glorious. Phil Spencer, do the right thing. Shirtless pic. But now, since we're on the subject of Phil Spencer, we'll move on to our next story. Where he teased in a recent interview with Tom Warren at The Verge that there's going to be Xbox xCloud streaming sticks in the near future. They might be free. Who knows? Just quickly to get a quote out of the way here. He says, I think you're going to see lower-priced hardware as part of our ecosystem. When you think about streaming sticks and other things, somebody might just want to plug into their TV and go play via xCloud, says Spencer. You could imagine us even having something that we just included with Games Pass subscription that gave you an ability to stream xCloud games to your television and buying the controller. This is something I think has been in people's heads for a long time. What you got there, John?
I've got something that plugs in to, like, it's an Xbox plugin. I don't know where I got this.
Right.
Maybe Papa Phil loves me. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, we got an early hands-on with the aforementioned streaming stick, and we're going to be posting our review to... no.
No, that's the wireless dongle for the... I just want to make sure, like, oh, shit, they actually got it. I wish. Papa Phil, call me.
Yeah. While we're on the subject, you might have seen on Twitter this past week that, like, influencers and stuff have got their hands on the PS5, right? Jeff Keighley has one, Greg Miller has one. We just want to let you guys know that they've sent us ours as well, so don't worry, we have that. Just out of interest for you, though, we're going to not talk about it until launch day, just so you don't feel jealous.
No, we don't want to do that. We're on the same level as everyone. Yeah,
just know that CGI Herman Holst contacted us directly and asked us if we wanted one, and we said, yes, please give us 5.
Yes, we're good with this.
Again, we're not going to bring it up again, but just to let you know, we're reviewing it. So, John, what is the wireless dongle? What is that? What's that for?
I actually freaking love this idea, because I was... When I saw this, my first thought was, I mean, we have Amazon Fire sticks, which are $40, and you get Amazon Prime, or you have to pay for Amazon Prime, but you've got Amazon stuff after you go through this. I think this is a great idea. You plug this thing into your TV, and you have Xbox Game Pass, you've got 100 games ready to go. And that have that thing. I mean, we already know there's the tech that you can connect it to a dongle per se, to a controller. So it's just one extra step to actually stream it to the stick and into your TV. Genius.
Yeah.
Absolutely freaking genius.
This goes back to our conversation from previous weeks now. It seems like we're going on and on about Xbox's strategy with Games Pass transitioning into xCloud. But again, just to reiterate the point that they want xCloud and Games Pass on as many devices as possible. And if that means making new low-end devices exclusively for streaming, that's fine. They're trying to remove as many barriers as possible to get xCloud in people's hands. And again, there were rumors this past few years leading up to the announcement of the Series X and all that stuff, that there was going to be a lower end system that was built for streaming. That ended up getting abandoned for this console launch. But again, I don't think it's too much to say that in the next 2 years or so, you're going to see an Xbox streaming stick for the people who are able to play xCloud as their main way to play games. They have the internet there. They can handle it. I just think this is a move that totally makes sense, and it's only going to become more popular. The only thing I possibly thought when I was thinking about this ages ago, I was thinking like they will just put an xCloud app on the Fire Stick on the Chromecast. But I guess that's not an avenue that's open to them anymore with Chromecast
Luna
being Stadia, Amazon having Luna. Like, they got to make their own, I guess, now.
I mean, one thing that could happen is I know a lot of TVs ship with Roku built in. So if like Xbox decides that they want to kind of partner up with Roku, you can have the Roku app with the Xbox app integrated into it, where there's your games and ready to go. But I think it's more appealing, and weirdly enough, it was more appealing to me to see like, and I'm just randomly grabbing a number, like $100. $100, you get the stick, you get a controller, and you get like 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate or whatever Xbox Game Pass Xbox stick. I don't know what they would do that, but something about that concept was like really weirdly appealing to me. I don't know why, but I was just like, that is genius, because I agree with you. I love that Xbox is just like, screw it. We want you to play games. Here's another way to play games as simple as possible. And there's something very refreshing about how they're going about doing that.
Yeah. Spencer also mentioned in an interview other avenues that they're exploring, a potential Xbox Games Pass Platinum with guaranteed Xbox new hardware, sort of like what they have at the minute with Xbox All Access, but maybe you have a Series X and you have your Games Pass subscription and you're like, I want to know when the Xbox Series V comes out that I'm going to have that. And so like, yeah, your subscription would guarantee that. Depending on how pricing works out in these sort of half-gen, next-gen iterations, like maybe it works out cheaper, maybe it works out more expensive, who knows? But that's something to consider and not ruling out just yet. Would you be down for that? I remember you talking about in a run-up to pre-orders that you were considering the all-access stuff.
Yeah. When the pre-order started, I tried to get into it, and apparently it just sold out way too fast.
Yeah.
I'm interested in this one just to see what it's like if we do get, like you said, the code named Series V that kind of been whispered months ago. I'm kind of going back and forth because I'm the one that plays most Xbox in our house right now. So it still goes back to the games, and with Rose, there's not really anything that has caught her attention. Granted, Game Pass has actually been really nice because we've been jumping into a lot more indie games. Yeah. But I think that's where the appealing part for the stick came into play with me. Is just I can just pop it into our front room and we can just jump on Game Pass and take a look at the indie games that are there. So I do want to see how this future iteration for the half steps up. How is that going to work, and what is it going to give us? Because I would assume we're probably going to get more like memory, and that would be the main thing. More memory, maybe smaller, maybe a different shape. I don't know. And so depending on how this all plays out with the half step and what I actually get out of that, the Platinum Pass, I'll definitely look into it. I might jump in on it. It just depends on what I get.
Yeah. I think having an all-in-one package for this is something that appeals to a lot of people. Again, the idea with the console for the most part is you're never going to match the performance of a PC. However, it's so much simpler to just like I'm gonna have this Xbox and know it's gonna work and it's gonna play all my games right, and I'm not gonna have to fiddle with the graphic settings and drivers. Yep. So like, yeah, again, knowing that you'll always have that and knowing that you'll always have the best possible version, right, of the system, I think is really good. I think it also works out if you're a PC player as well. And again, this is purely hypothetical depending on how many people go for this service, but when a new console generation arrives, it sort of provides a new baseline for all game devs to go, okay, this is what we can expect people's hardware to be, so we can like push more limits now, right? So
yeah,
for the last year of PS4 and Xbox One, there's been like a limit to how good PC games could be, right? Like you couldn't assume that everyone has an SSD because not many people had. That was a smaller market share. Now, with PS5 and Xbox both coming packed with those, you can assume that most of your player base are going to have an SSD, and so you can divert resources into supporting that. So that's an example. But like, if this sort of platinum, like you always have the best hardware service takes off, you instantly get more people on the best hardware, even if it's a half step, which previously haven't been that popular with people, right? And so if you get more people on the best console hardware sooner, it helps devs as well, because then that's a new baseline for them where they can say, okay, most people have this, we can like upgrade the specs of this game now. So I think that's an interesting way to go with it.
Yeah, it's taking that phone concept that we're all used to, and now really putting it into a console generation. And I agree. I like that idea too. Like, just all right, everyone has these specs. Let's build it and make it better with this one, and just keep on iterating on and on. That's actually a really good idea. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. And again, it just makes things less confusing. If you could just like, if you have the money, you could just say, hey, take it. Give me the best one. Give me the best game. Yeah. So yeah, that would be good for them. Phil also thought it worthwhile to mention that Microsoft is working on a web-based iOS solution for xCloud. If you've been keeping up with that, the whole rigmarole is that Apple don't allow streaming game apps on their App Store. And so like Stadia and Xbox have just had a rough time getting that on their system. So they're working on this new web-based solution to try and bypass the App Store entirely in a sneaky move that I quite like. And Phil seemed optimistic about what they had. He refused to share a lot of details, but he seemed optimistic about the way things are going and how this is going to work for people. I wasn't initially enthused about the idea of, and again, I don't have iOS, so this doesn't affect me. I'm an Android boy all the way through. But yeah, it was weird to think about opening Safari to get to your games. Which I guess is going to be the new norm anyway. When we're in the streaming future, you're just going to open up a dumb browser and play Tetris 47. That's what I'm going to play. I don't know about you. But yeah, it's good. Early 2021 is sooner than I thought for that. But yeah, it'll be good to see that rolling out.
Yeah.
Also, for iOS people, they have released a new app for their Xbox stuff. It looks nice, it looks clean, has most of the features you would already expect, has like a nicer, this is sort of streaming but not really, where I think the best word for it is remote play, where you can like play games on your phone that's really playing on your Xbox that's over on the other side of the room, and that seems to work well on iOS now, and just the whole thing's nicer. I always love it when companies do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, good things ahead for Xbox Games Pass. Again, the biggest obstacle for it is infrastructure, right, for internet companies. But we've talked about that to death on previous episodes, so I'm not going to that rigmarole again. So now it's time for the other remaining news stories of the week. Again, some smaller news that we're just going to mention, but we thought it worthwhile to mention. The first one I thought was interesting. A new Fortnite update reduces the overall file size of their game by over 60 gigabytes, and they promise smaller downloads for future patches.
Love this.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting to bring this up, especially considering last week's conversation about Xbox doing this for Sea of Thieves and respecting users' disk space. And again, I didn't think Fortnite had a huge incentive to do this, but you love to see it. Yeah.
It's just good for consumers, good for gamers. Thankfully, a lot of the prices for SSDs are slowly going down, and I do kind of think personally that the new consoles are going to help out with that too, because they're going to be more widely available. But I think that's really going to help them go down. But yeah, you're right. Like, we need to save space somehow. The games are getting too big.
Yeah. And again, so it's a consideration that people are going to have to bring into their minds now, just respecting that disk space. It started off easy with games, right, where you just have to respect the user's wallet, where you had to make sure that $60 was worth it for the experience you're getting. And then it was about people are overloaded with entertainment, and now you need to respect their time. We're asking games to be shorter and not like needlessly fill out a big 100-hour long campaign when it could easily be 40 hours. And now like disk space is the big thing that people have to think about. So a lot of balls to juggle. But I think kudos to Fortnite for doing this. And yeah, you love to see it. It just makes me wonder, like, what was bloating it before? Like, was it just the sheer amount of crunch they were doing, where they just like couldn't worry about optimization and just had to get the new update out?
Just let it go.
People are getting down to battle royales. We need to get a new update out. Don't worry about if it's a giant 4 gigabyte asset for a a building. Just like get it out there. But
for the burger, just get it out there.
Yeah, and maybe now that they have more of a flow, that they can go back and retroactively do the optimization. So we also talked about on a previous show, I think it was last week's show, about the idea of custom PS5 plates being for sale. That is now happening. I don't know if this is the only site that does it, and again, this is hashtag not an ad. But a site called theplatestation.com, which is great. Wonderful domain name, wonderful company name get. They are selling these side panels for the PlayStation in all these different colors. Not too crazy with the options yet, but they do have like a army camo version, which I think is cool. They're promising to like get these out for the launch of the PS5 if you order within the next few weeks. Pricing them around $40. I don't know if we were sort of tentatively making a bet about what these would cost. How does $40 sound to you for two side panels?
So that's $20 each, $19.99. That's a little. Oh, it kind of makes sense to me. I was kind of hoping they were going to be more like $29.99. That felt like a better number to me. $40. I guess it just depends on what you actually get out of it. I know they're just normal plates, and these are all cool. I could have swore I looked at this site when you put it in our Discord. Didn't they have a wood panel one? I thought that was actually really badass.
Possible it sold out. I'm not sure. I didn't see the wood panel myself. But that would be cool.
I was like, okay, that one kind of looked cool. $40. That's kind of weird though, because I mean, depending on what the price of the games themselves, it's going to be 20 less or 30 less than the actual game. So, it's kind of a weird. Sure, I guess someone had to start if you really think about it, and so they decided let's just throw it out there with 40. I'm sure we're gonna get more people going for the 20, the 30, and then something at $100 because it's insert color or we put gold flakes in it or something like that. 40, I'm not happy about. I think it is a little too much, but it is what it is on that one, unfortunately.
John, I don't know if you're looking at the stream right now. This site's freaking me out. There's like a little notification in the bottom left corner telling you when someone purchases a thing and where they're from.
Man, that is freaking FOMO at its best. I was looking at it with you. I was on my screen. I was like, what's popping up? Abraham from Los Angeles, California has purchased.
Amy from San Jose. Like, I don't need to know this, right?
Yeah. Australia, Matt Black version 1. Yeah, I don't like that one bit. It's actually freaking me out. Someone in Santa Ana.
Yeah.
What?
Again, it seems that most people are buying the matte black. I would pay $100 for the matte black if that was
the
an
black's
option.
the one I'm okay with paying the 40. Like I'm sure because we've both seen we've both seen the hints and the whispers of a black PlayStation 5, and that we've seen the controller everywhere.
Oh,
like, are we getting that, or is that just like next year's kind of thing? Like summer of next year, their state of play is going to be a black PlayStation 5 with the lighting red instead of blue.
100% you're getting it 3 months down the line. They're announcing that black controller.
I'm surprised the black controller hasn't been actually like announced.
Mm-hmm.
I would buy another one just because it's the black controller. That way I have a white and black one. I think that's a missed opportunity. I think you could get a lot more people buying more controllers if you just individually sold that black one for the time being and wait, like I said, 3-6 months down the road to give us a black console.
Mm-hmm. I think they're scared of people waiting for the black controller is the only thing.
True.
They did have initially on the site when I looked at it before. They showed you what your PlayStation would look like with these side panels on it. They appear to have changed the images now to just be the side panels to make it clear. Hey, we're not selling you a PlayStation 5 for $40. Like, don't think that's what you're getting. But yeah, the black just looked so perfect. And it's like, oh god, this isn't right. No, never mind, that's fine. No, the black. I have to say, with the white panels, the PS5 looks a little goofy. Like, even still, now that we know what it looks like, the white still looks goofy. Black, sexy. That is a steamy console.
Get you spicy, get you hot.
Gets me spicy, John. Maybe they do have a wood panel. Oh no, they don't. Okay, never mind. I got distracted. So yeah, good to see that. I imagine there'll be more wacky variations in future, but like, yeah, those are already being. I wonder how they're getting them. Are they making them themselves, or
that's like they've got to be casting it somehow.
Yeah,
and maybe I just haven't really looked into it. Do we know the side panelings, the specs, and like the actual panels themselves, and like where the clips are? Like I'm a little concerned to buy that. Just because I don't know if it's going to line up correctly or the clips are going to be in the right place. Like, I think it's too soon to buy them.
It's got to be either like some backdoor shady inside info, right, from like someone in the manufacturing giving a plate to someone that they can cast, or like the PS5 teardown video. They watched that and they're like, okay, here's the dimensions, here's what the clips are, here's what the clips look like.
Yeah, okay.
You could do that with it as well, but yeah. We're not endorsing this. Don't buy it because of us. But
no.
I am absolutely going to buy one as soon as I know. Again, when Amy in San Jose gets back to me about how her side plates have fared, then I will be, okay, I'm buying one of the black ones now. So the next story, Kojima Productions confirms they're working on a new project that is in development and they're hiring for it for their Tokyo studio.
And when you get this job, it's unlimited Monster for you. Okay, right. Just remember that.
That comes free. That's all in with the healthcare package. I always shrug at stories like this because, of course, they're working on a new project. Like, they're not just twiddling their thumbs, like still reading the reviews for Death Stranding, unless like maybe Kojima is, but who knows?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, obviously. I don't know why it needs confirmed that they're working on a new thing. But yeah.
Is it... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, like, for Kojima, like, at least people can now speculate, okay, so this one image is definitely a teaser for it. It's definitely going to be, like, a platforming game about a fox. They're rebooting Super Lucky Steel. That's what they're doing. Kojima Super Lucky Steel. It's going to be messed up. It's going to get in your head. Super Lucky was a AI the whole time. But yeah.
Oh my god, we got there.
Yeah. But no, yeah, that's all these posts are good for in my head is speculation, and especially with Kojima, like, that will get like at least a week's worth of content on whatever Kojima subreddit there is out there, and the NeoGAF forums and the reset eras and stuff. Care to venture a guess at what they're working on? Do you think it's Death Stranding 2? Do you think it's something completely different?
I remember hearing or listening to an interview or reading an interview how he wants to get into film.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'll just throw it out there. I mean, Kojima Productions can absolutely mean anything. So he's getting into film, or we're getting a PlayStation 5 up-res version, the Game of the Year edition for Death Stranding on the PlayStation 5. I have no idea. Kojima is a very odd mystery that I really like to know about, because he pretty much can do whatever he wants. But I mean, Solid Snake, I know I can't say that because he doesn't own it, but I don't know. It's skateboarding. Let's go with that one. He's taken over the production of Skatebird. So that the next Kojima is going to be Skatebird. It's going to be insane. I don't know how he pulled it off, but you know what? I'm in.
Down. I'd say spicy take. If it was not for the next story I'm about to share, I would have like churned that rumor mill of Metal Gear Solid. I want this
so bad.
But yes, unfortunately, the next story is PT confirmed not backwards compatible with the PS5. Stop trying to get PT. You're not going to get it. Konami refuses.
I know. It's sad.
Yeah.
It would have been great. I would have loved it. That's the one game that really, like, this generation freaked me out. And I want it. And I know we're never going to get it. And it's like that. Just, we're never going to get there. And I'm with you. I need to let it go, but it's so hard. It's so hard. They were good times, man.
Yeah.
You don't know.
This one kind of makes sense to me in their reasoning. So, like, the way PS5 backwards compatibility works is you need to verify your purchase through the PlayStation Store and download it via there. So because PT is not on the PlayStation Store, you will not be able to get your PS4 version to the PS5. Maybe if they change the way they work that around, that might happen. Although, didn't they say you could just plug in a PS4 hard drive and that would work?
Yes, they said you can just grab your PS4 hard drive or even your like external hard drive, pop it in. It should be good to go. We'll find out. I have PT on my external hard drive. God, I'm going to try.
I got rid of mine, and I had never lived it down. But no, if it doesn't work with just the plug-in in the hard drive, that almost seems like more effort and more vindictive on Konami's part. To like, no, they're not playing it. If we could delete it all from everyone's PS4 right now, we would. But no, I was saying, like, part of me hopes that, like, Kojima has made nice with Konami and they can make a Metal Gear Solid 6 or whatever, but, like, no. Yeah. They just hate the man. They want to erase everything he's worked on. So yeah, that just sucks. I'm okay with it, though. I'm okay if, they don't get PT to work, as long as they get Joe's Diner to work eventually on the PS5.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel bad for that team.
Yeah.
The Joe's Diners team, which I don't know the team.
You want to talk about immersive storytelling. You want to talk about game-changing narratives. I don't think Joe gets nearly as much credit as Kojima. Right? Joe and his diner changed my life as a gamer. Take that.
Okay.
Hideo.
Joe's Diner. I looked it up. I'm on Metacritic. The summary. Okay. Keep things calm to not incur the angry Chieftain's wrath. Oh my God! In this very special arcade adventure, somewhere along the Route 7, in the middle of nowhere, you will find Joe's Diner. As an employee working the graveyard shift for the next month, your primary task is to keep the tables clean. No tough challenge at all. Unfortunately, there's the rub in it. The old diner was built on the site of a former Indian cemetery. Of course, I'm the one reading this because I'm half Native American. Amongst the buried, two rival chieftains lay to rest, while alive, each could not stand each other. One chieftain endeavors only to rest in peace. The other, a prankster both in life and in the afterlife, is prone to ruffle the feathers of his fellow chief. Besides your task as a waiter, it is up to you to keep things calm and incur the angry chieftain's wrath. To lay them both to everlasting rest, just do your duty. Sounds easy, but is it not promised? But it is not promised. It's got a 5.5 on Metacritic. I had no idea what this game was about. That sounds stupid and amazing, and excuse me while I go buy this.
But tell me that is not a more intriguing synopsis than Death Stranding, right? Oh, it's America and everyone hates each other and is like disconnected. You know, Joe's Diner is built on an ancient Indian burial ground, all right? Like, how's that?
This is
That's
insane.
definitely not been done before.
Work 30-hour night shifts as a holiday replacement in Joe's Diner. Keep things calm to not incur the angry chieftain's wrath. Premium sound, scenery, and effects from the makers of Pineview Drive.
Another classic.
Oh my god, this is great. This is amazing. There's only 3 pictures on the PlayStation store.
Yeah. Sid Schumann, do the right thing. Get it on the PS5. So now to our last story of the day. I try not to end these on a sour note, but there's too many sour stories in this. I probably should have ended it with the Fortnite stuff, but this is where we are now. We just got to mow through it. Deleting your Facebook account will also delete your Oculus purchases. So this is off the back of the ever-evolving story where Facebook obviously owns Oculus now, bought it a while ago for $1 billion, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and they are now enforcing that instead of an Oculus account, you will now need a Facebook account to play on Oculus. And so this is now, like, people already were like, no, I don't want to, because, like, I hate Facebook. I don't use, there's like different tiers of deleting your account you can do in Facebook. I've done the deactivation tier where my Facebook is dead, but I can still use Messenger. That's the only reason I still have that account. Okay. If you do that with your Oculus while your Facebook account is deactivated, it will also deactivate your Oculus purchases. So you'll need to reactivate it to get access to those games. If you delete your Facebook account totally, then yeah, all your Oculus games go by as well. And
that
so
sucks.
The way this is working is people who already have Oculus accounts aren't being forced to make Facebook accounts for now, but by 2023, they will need to have that. Otherwise, again, they lose all their games. People who are only now buying Oculus don't even get the option for an Oculus account. They need to make their new Facebook profile. And again, by 2023, all Oculus accounts will just die totally. Like, you won't be able to have one, even if you had an Oculus from way back in the day. Why are they doing this? Why?
Facebook still wants to run the world. This sucks because I'm not gonna lie. I've actually been looking at the Oculus Quest 2. I might pick one up because it seems pretty interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Facebook. I know it's active because I look on it sometimes and get absolutely depressed because Facebook is an absolute cesspool. This actually rubs me the wrong way, and it sucks. I have no idea why I understand that, yes, Oculus got bought by Facebook, but we can have 2 different logins. It's okay. Ask most of us. Xbox, PlayStation, Steam. Hold on. Wait. I've got it right here on my computer. What else do I have? Minecraft, which actually is going over to Microsoft. Twitch. Epic. I mean, we have so many logins. So what? We have another one, but it's Facebook, and they want to track what kind of games you're playing so they can give you specialized advertisements for you to enjoy your gaming even more.
Mm-hmm. We talk about big tech giants trying to like push and shove their way into the games industry, and Facebook seem to be going all out right now with Oculus for the VR space. But also, if you remember, Mixer died. It's now transitioning into Facebook gaming, and so you better believe there's going to be some Xbox Games Pass integration with Facebook at some stage. So yeah, again, trying to muscle their way in to the detriment of the people. I don't think like that is enough to turn me off buying an Oculus, which before was quite a reasonably priced entry into VR. And a lot of good options, a lot of wireless options. Quite a clean looking system in terms of VR. Like, normally they're quite dorky looking headsets. The Oculus Quest is a nice design. But, like, if I have to reactivate my Facebook account to play an Oculus game, I swear to God.
Yeah, I mean, I was even looking at it this week, the Oculus Quest 2, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'll get into it. Because I've got a PlayStation VR, and I like it okay, but I want to see what else is going on. This is really kind of making me think about going back to like looking at HTC again and their Vive. So I don't know. It's scummy. It doesn't feel good. I don't know if I want to connect it. I know I have a Facebook and I don't really care, but that's kind of shitty in my opinion.
Yeah. I think the way I'm going to go with VR when I eventually do is when they announce the next iteration of PlayStation VR. I think that's just the way I'll go. Because I want to play Astrobot. I want to play Moss. And I want PlayStation trophies for my VR games. Is that too much to ask?
So now.
Yeah. So I think that's the way I'll go. But yeah, that's the end of our stories. We're going to close out the show today with a few questions. If you are on Twitch chat currently, please, if you have any questions about anything we covered today or otherwise, please let us know. I'm going to start with a question that we already have by It's Game to Duel. Gaiam?
It's Gaiam to Duel.
He's a regular on the Couch Capades Twitch, I believe. But yeah, this goes back a few weeks to where we were discussing pre-orders for the PS5 and Xbox Series X. So I'll just read his question. You and Finn were speaking about Xbox pre-orders, and he was making the point, he being I in the scenario, about how the video games industry was unique in the aspect of botched pre-orders. I can assure you that this is not the case. I'm a toy collector and follow those industries fairly closely, Japanese imports and domestic. Specifically for domestic pre-orders, it's just as botched. For example, Walmart has a tendency of fulfilling pre-orders of their stores before... fulfilling orders of their stores before pre-orders. There's tons of situations in which you pre-order a figure or collectible and your pre-order is not fulfilled. And you can go and find out in your local store, cancel your pre-order and buy it there. In this industry, it's hard to find certain figures due to case breakdowns and scarcity. Other retailers also have problems with doing these things, but yeah, it's not just the video games industry. I can forgive some of this for coronavirus if it was a distribution issue, but more time than not, it's not honoring pre-orders. This is the type of question I love because it's something I am not an expert in. I do not collect toys. So like hearing that from a person who's like really invested in that world is super interesting to me. So yeah, I guess this isn't a unique problem. I was thinking about it when I was talking about it more from the perspective of the manufacturers, right? And these companies, Sony and Microsoft themselves, and about like the hype and the fanfare that goes into each new generation of consoles.
Yeah.
So like I totally didn't think about it from the perspective, and this happens in the video game industry too, where like retailers like Walmart and other things will take on more pre-orders than they can ever hope to fulfill, and then end up saying like, nah bro, you were too late. I know we said you got one, but
no, you don't.
Yeah, I believe this thing, and I don't know if I'm calling him out right now, happened to Tim as well, where he got his pre-order for the PS5 cancelled.
I think so. I'm pretty sure I saw that he did say that they fully canceled his pre-order, not just did the authorization that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I guess it's not unique. There's a little bit of nuance there where it's again retailers versus the people who manufacture this stuff. I don't know what. And again, if Guy wants to write back into the show, giving us a bit more detail into how the manufacturers feel about these, especially with Japanese imports, like how much production they account for US markets and other international markets. It would be interesting to know that because, again, I think the primary reason for lack of pre-order fulfillment in the games industry is just the intricacy of how these things are made. These are like high-tech pieces of equipment, and so it's just a lot harder to have supply meet demand, with toys, again, you'll get a variation. Some of them are hand painted, some of them are bigger than others, more detailed than others, do different things. And again, they come in different sets, limited editions, etc. And so I wonder, is it a case of take the case of US manufacturers, whether they just like are unable to meet demand or simply underestimate the amount of demand that they're going to have in their US markets. But I thought that was a really good question. I love to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, looking in chat right now, his pre-order is fine. He has it. So cool.
Sick. Tim got his PS5. Awesome. Good stuff.
Awesome. The closest thing I have to what Gaim talked about for me is I started collecting vinyl records, specifically video game vinyl records. And oh boy, the FOMO on that is 100% real. And if you don't get it day one, you do not get it unless you want to pay a hefty price.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of understand that one now. Like thinking about it, like when we were talking about with the gaming and the consoles and whatnot, to me, I was more upset about the idea of like, hey, we're going to let you know when it's going to happen. Oh, no, we didn't. Good luck. And everyone man for himself. That's kind of what upset me the most about the whole thing. But yeah, I never thought about the idea of just every industry has some sort of getting screwed over by supply and demand or pre-orders or anything like that. Because yeah, I'm not very much in the gaming things. I've got a couple gaming toys. I've got a couple toys up here, but I always think about like when it's like San Diego Comic-Con and how like rare that stuff is. But I never really put together the pre-order concept of it's happened to us on the gaming side where they just exhaust their pre-orders and they don't get enough to cover all those pre-orders. But it never fully clicked for me actually that it's games, probably movies. Movies are a little bit easier to produce though, but and like records and stuff like that. Like I know this morning I had to actually get up, make sure I could pre-order a vinyl, and thankfully I got it, but it's gone now. Like I checked and you cannot get it anymore.
Yeah.
Magic cards, thank you. Yes. Holy crap. Like just a little bit of everything out there is kind of insane of pre-orders, because that happened to a buddy of ours, one of our mods over at Couch Capades. Actually, he pre-ordered some of the Magic card decks, brand new ones, and the company like emailed him like 10 days later and was like, "No, you didn't get it. We oversold on our pre-orders, and sucks to be you." And I just kind of like, do you like shops not get a pre-order? How many they're getting in so they can actually do this correctly?
Yeah, and again, like, it's a distribution thing that industries like movies and music and other forms of entertainment have handled because they've moved on to the streaming future. We have yet to do that because of the sheer technical impact of video games. But if you could imagine a future where like a lot of people do play their games streaming and it's easy to do, you know, I feel like there'll be less of a free-for-all when it comes to pre-orders for a next-gen system. Because like, say, you're trying to buy the Xbox Series 411, and you're like, oh, I didn't get mine, for Walmart canceled my pre-order or whatever. I have my Xbox Series X here, and I can like just stream it. So like, I still get the games. I still get the graphical fidelity to an extent. So yeah, it won't be as big of a gold rush in that sense once streaming comes into large effect. And it's again just the thing where people need and want this very cutting edge hardware for their things, and it's just hard to manufacture that much, especially in a COVID world. So yeah, Tim has a question in regards to opinions on backwards compatibility. How are Sony and Nintendo going to handle this? Piracy is a known issue for older Nintendo and Sony games at this point, and they're often either no re-releases or the new re-releases have problems the originals didn't. Are pirates, for the sake of archiving, doing a massive service to the industry? Games preservation is a subject that I don't feel like I'm qualified enough to comment on. Just because I haven't looked into it that much, but like the idea behind it, right? You preserve these games, despite the like wearing of time and physical discs or cartridges being like lost to time, or digital storefronts closing down and you not being able to access specific games anymore. And so, like, yeah, I agree with that sentiment of it. But then you always get into the issue of piracy, where, especially with Nintendo games, right, when they refuse to put out these N64 ports, and like NES ports they have now with their systems, but many people have problems with that already. For a game's preservation sake, of sometimes, and especially Nintendo, can give incentive to why piracy and emulators and ROMs are the way to go. Either because they just won't re-release a thing, or they make it worse somehow, or just harder to access. And again, a lot of fan projects about up-resing Mario 64 and all these other beloved games from the past end up getting shut down, which is again frustrating, because if you just released an upscaled version of Mario 64, we'd be fine with it and we'd buy it. But instead you just like do a straight port. With regards to Sony stuff, so like we're talking about PS1, 2, and 3, right, which don't have backwards compatibility with PS5, and a lot of games don't have, will not get the re-releases or the Blue Point remakes. Even with remakes, right, you still want to be able to preserve original Demon's Souls for the sake of games history and programming history and stuff. But yeah, like a lot of games won't get remastered re-releases and stuff on the PS5. I do always go back in my head to that Cerny patent, and like whether they want to do something with that in regards to the PS1, 2, and 3 stuff, whether that's ever going to turn into a service that they're able to offer later down the line with the PS5 Pro or whatever, or PS6. In my head, and again, it keeps coming back to this show, it seems, the streaming future could solve all of these problems. When you're able to just stream this hardware instead of emulating this hardware in another system, I feel like it will become much easier for companies like Nintendo and Sony to be able to just say, hey, you can stream the entire catalog of PS1 games on our servers. Like, you just pay $9.99 a month and you got them all there and they're good. Obviously, that's not a total fix. With regards to games preservation, you want to have the physical like hard copies there, and you want to have the digital copies to play locally offline. So it doesn't totally solve it, but it does at least mean that those games are playable. And again, with regards to streaming and the future, Nintendo's always going to be 10 years behind, so give them a while to get up with that. So yeah, I think it's going to be a while before we're able to be in a world where it's like, I can pick any system and I am able to just play the entire catalog and not worry about piracy issues or illegality issues. But, and again, I'm not condoning piracy in any sense, but in certain situations where the official licensor gives no other option, for the sake of purely games preservation and historical records sake, I am okay with it temporarily for the time being until a better solution is found. Let us know, chat, if you have any other questions. In the meantime, I'm going to mention some stuff that's coming up this week for Playhouse. The first big thing is, I mentioned this on my Twitter, I've gotten a key for The Red Lantern by Timberline Studios. I've been playing that a bunch. I'm in the middle of writing my review, and hopefully a written and video version should go up for that this week. I'm also, after that, working on a review for Inertial Drift. That'll probably come out the following week. So yeah, probably by next week's show, I'll be able to give like a date for when that review's coming out.
Awesome.
And finally, we're going to try and make a return to Playdate this week. We're going to hopefully record episode 2 this week, and then Sunday is November 1st. So like the idea being that we're going to release these on the 1st of the month every month from now on. So again, it will be the next show before that releases, so you'll get a definite answer from me next week on this show. But that is where that's going. If you're worrying about where Playdate was, we're coming back to it, and we're going to try and make it more consistent. It was just a bit hectic for a while there. As you all know, it's been a rough world. So yeah, that's what I've got in the cooker. But yeah, if that's it for questions, then we've been Finn and John. This has been Playhouse Live. You can keep up to date with all of our content at entertheplayhouse.com. You can keep up with our social feeds at Enter Playhouse on Twitter, at Enter the Playhouse on Instagram. I will try more to post on Instagram. I know I've been lacking in that field. I'm just not a photo taker, but it's in my head to try and make a more concerted effort for Instagram stuff. And yeah, you can follow me personally at HyFinated. You can follow John at his thing. I never remember the numbers. Or you can just go to Couch Capades. You know what? That's a better way to do it.
You don't remember that one? That's fine. I mean, come to Couch Capades.
Yeah. And so yeah, we'll be back next week with another one of these. Until then, we will see you later.
Bye.